Hi there, my name's Andy Hillier and today I'm going to teach you how to play my fingerstyle arrangement of the main theme from Doctor Strange. Now I've done a full playthrough, so if you want to hear what it sounds like all the way through, I'll leave a card above and a link in the description. Just before I teach you it today though, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, which is Andy Hillier, it really does help me out. Give me a like on the video and please leave me some comments. Let me know where in the world you're from, what songs I should do next. And if you love what I'm doing and you want to support me, keep me doing these videos, and you want to print the tabs off for this, I'll put them on my Patreon page. I'll leave a link to that in the description. We've got loads to get through. My guitar's in standard tuning. So the first line starts with this. So that's the first bar. We're going to play the open D string with G, B and the E strings at the 10th fret. I just put my first finger flat across those. We play the bottom 4 strings, then play E12, E13, and then E10, so you just take your fingers off and your first finger will still be there, and then back to an E13. So the first bar is. Bar 2 we've got, which is the open E string, and then E12 nearest to the floor, B13, and G14 all at the same time, and then play just the B13 on its own. So you got, so bars 1 and 2 slowly go. And then bar 3 we got, which is first finger barred across all the strings at the 11th fret, second finger on G12, and you play the E, the G, the B and the E string nearest the floor. And then we've got B11, E11, E13, I use my third finger, then E15, I'm using my little finger, back to E11, which is my first finger just barred. So we've got bar 3, then bar 4 we've got this chord, which is your first finger across E and B strings at the 10th fret. You've got G12 and we've got D string as well. And then bar 5, I couldn't play exactly what's on the track because there's 2 notes are semitone apart, but I can't reach those on the guitar. So I've just done this little chord, which is E6 with the first finger, B7 with the third finger, G7 with the second finger, and D8 with the little finger. So that whole of the first line slowly goes like this. So that's the first line. Now the next line kicks in with a, where you're playing A5 and G7 at the same time. Then play another G7, then 2 more G7s, and then a G7 with that A5 again. So bar 6. Bar 7 starts with just B6. So you've got 4 of those, and then you can play a B6 with an A5. So bar 7 goes. So bars 6 and 7 together go. Bar 8 comes in with E5. So you've got 2 of those, dun, dun, and then we're just going to play 6 more of them. So that bar 8 goes. And then we're playing bar 9, we've got fret 4 on the A string, and then E5, and you play the E5. We've got triplets going through, so we've got 12 of those. So the whole line you've got. On to the next line. This is where kind of like the main theme comes in. The first bar we've got. So you're playing the D string and B3 at the same time. Then E, E1, B3 again, I don't take my finger off, I just keep it on there. And then E1, so you got. And then in bar 11 you've got, which is D2 and open E, then B1. So bars 10 and 11 you go. Bar 12 and we've got, so fret 1 on the D string, using my little finger on B4. So we play the B1, the D1 and the B4 at the same time. Then G3 with my third finger, the B4, first finger E1, E3, and then B4. So you get. So I actually bar my first finger to get the E1. So you got. And then into bar 13 we just play the D string and B3. So the whole of that line we've got. On to the next line. Now this first bar is the same as the bar that we had in the previous line. So you've got. So we've played that already. And then the next bar, bar 15, we go. So E strings, both of them at the fret 6, just use your first finger flat across them. Then a B8. Then bar 16, we're going to play, which is fret 4 on the E string and 5 on the G string. So I'm using my first finger, I'm actually barring my first finger, and then I'm using my second finger on fret 5 on the G string. And then you're going to do a G5, hammer on to G7, or you could just play them if you struggle to hammer on, using my little finger. Then B4, G5, and then a D6. So bar 16, bar 17, just playing open A with D2 and G2, and then you can play a B2 on its own, so it goes. So the whole of that line slowly, you've got. On to the next line, and the first bar you've got. So you're playing the D string and B3, another B3, then another 4, and then playing E1 3 times. So you've got. Next bar, bar 19, starts with the same idea, but then it goes down to G3. For the last 3 hits, you got bar 20, we're playing the D string again, and we've got G2 this time, same rhythm from before, back up to G3, so bar 20, and then bar 21, playing the A string and the open G string. Another open G, 2 more Gs, G2 with A4 in the bass, hit another G2, and then the open E string 3 times, so that bar 21. So the whole line slowly, you've got. On to the next line, and we've got. So the first 2 bars there, so you've got the D string and B3, D string and E5, then A7 with E8, then E8 nearest to your face, and B10. So bar 22 and 23, you've got bars 24 and 25, we've got, which is fret 6 on the A string, then E6, so I just use my first finger flat, then E8, B8, E6 with a D string, then E5 and B8. So bars 24 and 25 go. On to the next line. So play A6 and E6 nearest to the floor, then B10 and B8. You got, and then we play E6 and E6, so both of the E6s, and then open G string with E8, and then a E6. So you got, if we play the first two bars of that line, you got, then playing A3 with E6 on the top, then E4, and then goes up a diminished arpeggio in bar 29, which is A3, A6, D4, D7, G5 and G8. So the whole of that line slowly, you got on to the next line, bar 30, and we've got, so you're playing, first finger's barred from the A string on the first fret, second finger on B2, third finger G3, and you play the A, G, B and E strings, then E1, E2, and then you play the open A string with E1, B1 and G2, then E1 and E2. So the first two bars of that line you've got. And then we're going to do a bar chord at the 4th fret, so bar all the strings at the 4th fret. Put your third finger on D6 and you can play the E, the D6, the G and the B strings. Then a B4 and a B6, so bar 32. Then bar 33, play, it's like a normal bar chord shape, so your first finger on fret 6, barred across all the strings, second finger on G7, third finger A8, little finger on D8, and you play E, A, D and the G strings, and then you're going to play a B6, which is just your first finger barred across that, so it goes. So bars 32 and 33 you've got. On to the next line, and it starts exactly the same as what we've just played. And then we play just the same idea, but we're playing just E4, A6 and G4 in bar 36. And then a G4 and a G6. Into bar 37 we've got an A chord, which is just open A with D2, G2 and B2. And then A4 in the bass with the A chord still on top, so I just use my first finger flat for that A chord. And then the last hit is D2, G2, B2 and open E. So if we just do that line, you've got on to the next line, 3 more lines to go, we're getting there. So you've got, so that's the first 2 bars, so A5, E5, E6 with A4 in the bass, then a B5, A4 with G6, then B5. Into the next bar we've got A5 and B6 at the same time, then a G7, E5 with A5 in the bass, and then an E5 on its own, and then A7 with E8, and then E6 on its own, A7 with G6, and then a B5 on its own. So the whole of that line we've got getting there, 2 more lines to go. So this second last line is actually almost the same as the sort of beginning phrase that we had. So we've got, so those first 2 bars, we've played them before, just D string with B3, E, E1, B3, E1, and then D2 with open E, and then B1, so the first 2 bars. Into the next bar, bar 47, again we've played this. So D1 with B4, G3, B4, E1, E3, B4. This bar's just slightly different. We've got open D string with B3, a G2, and then a B3. So bar 48 goes. Bar 49, same as 47. Bar 50, we've got E6 and E6, a B8. And again, we've done this, although actually I played it wrong in my cover version, but you can play it right. You've got fret 4 on the E string and 5 on the G string. Hammer on from 5 to 7. Play E4, then G5, and then D6. So you got. Then bar 52. Open A string with D2 and G2. Then play an open A string on its own. B string with an open A, then an open A string on its own. So it goes. So hopefully that line should be relatively easy because we've played it early on in the song. And then the last line, we've got, so this first bar, just E1 with D3 and open A string, then open A string, then fret 2 on the D string with the open E string, and the open A string, then an open A, so bar 53. And then bar 54 we've got, which is D with G2 and B3, and then play D and the G, and the B3, and then an E1. So you got, and then next bar, open D string with B3, and again, and then you hit G3. So bars 54 and 55 go. And then bar 56, play the D string and G2, another D and G2, then G3, and then these last 2 bars just go, which is E3 with the open G string, another 3 of those, so then B2, da 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 da, then A4 with open E string, same idea with the rhythm on top, and then fret 7 on the A string with E6. So bars 57 and 58 go. And that's the end of my cover. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed that little guitar lesson. It's quite a long one. Hopefully it's all made sense. So if you wouldn't mind subscribing to my channel, it really does help me out. Give me a like on the video. It helps the video perhaps get some more views. And the more comments, the better as well. Just if you want to say hi, just say hi. If you've got any suggestions for songs, let me know where you come from as well. It's just amazing that I'm making these videos in my home and then you guys are watching it all around the world. And if you love what I'm doing and you want to support me, keep me doing this channel, and you want to print the tabs off for this, then you can go to my Patreon page. I've got loads of tabs on there. You can support me that way, so I'll leave a link to that in the description. Well, thanks for watching this. I've been Andy Hillier, and I'll see you next time.